Hi guys, just got a few minutes. Last night I read some comments and I had some thoughts which I wanted to share with you why NHS gets away with so much that they do in terms of elderly culling and so forth. Now, let me share a deep thought with you, and I really want you to give me feedback. That is really important for me. These are my observations. You don't have to agree with it. I understand, but I really like to hear from yourself. It's important that we all contribute. Over the last 20, 30 years, there's been a trend that families have broken down. Kids get to the age of 18, 20, they want to move out, they want to have their own life. Parents are left on their own, and culturally, parents say, that's okay, I don't want my kids to look after me, I'll be fine, I'll do things on my own. And as they get elderly, they end up in hospitals, or they end up in care homes. By the time they get in front of doctors, doctor knows, as an example, Ethel, Mavis, Hilda have come from a care home, and so far nobody's arrived to see her except a daughter or an other son who's come to see, and that's fine. We can do a DNR on her. By the time they find out we did it, we'll just say, sorry, she wasn't safe. And to be honest, we didn't want to resuscitate because we could have broken her ribs and so on. And a lot of families, I'm sad to say, will just accept it. At the back of mind, they're thinking, oh, well, she's gone, that's fine. We'll sell her house, sell her contents, take the money, and, basically reduce our mortgage. So it's very, we're living in a very money-orientated society. And the reason NHS gets away with all this is because we don't have a deep family culture in UK. And I know, thank you so much. So many of you said you're really looking after your mother. And I honestly believe, I seriously believe that the reason my mum is still alive is because they know I'm very laser focused on making sure NHS doesn't get away. I'll give you a simple example. Right at the outset, 5 years ago, around COVID, social services came in. They tried to get my mum to sign a document to say, Talat, you don't need anything, do you? You don't need any care, do you? You can get away with just 2 people coming. My mum, because she's so old, she says yes to everything. She was about to sign the documents. Luckily, my daughter walked in. She said that, look, you're making a woman who's got no understanding sign the documents. They tried excluding her. I got home very quickly, let's just say rapidly, and basically created an obstacle. And I had that social servant removed from the social services team. That's just one example. Just because social service tried doing something, don't think they can get away every time. As a family, I've been very close to my mother. I look after my mother. I'm very laser focused on things like DNR, that the moment that the ambulance takes her away, I make sure that the ambulance paramedic knows. Then straight as soon as she gets into hospital, I make sure it's on the records. Once she's in a particular ward, then I make sure it's on the records. And so many times doctors have tried this, that, look, you need to know we can do what we like. It's the doctor arrogance, I would call it, the godism kind of a attitude. And you find that in British doctors. When we say British doctors, it could be an Indian doctor in Britain, it could be Chinese doctor, it could be an English doctor. Try it one day. Say to a doctor, wait till the doctor tells you what's wrong with her and say, okay, do you mind if I get a second opinion? I've got a cousin who's a doctor. I'd like him to pop in and see mum. Immediately they'll turn around and you'll see their arrogance and say, well, to be honest, we don't really like it. If you've got a problem like that, you're most welcome to blah, 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 blah. This doesn't happen overseas, because in overseas countries, when you see a doctor, they know you will get a second opinion. So what I'm trying to get at is, if we had more family values, if we had more close families, and when someone goes in hospital, everybody knows that people will come around and see their nan, see their grandfather, see the dad, blah, blah, blah. doctors would be more careful. And in fact, the whole NHS would be very careful. The rules would be different. Doctors won't try being gods. The Department of Health won't be saying, look, some unwritten rules, we need to reduce the elderly population, put in DNR, do this, do that. We don't really need them to get better. The attitude that I've been reading in here, well, my dad decided that he wanted to do not resuscitate, so, you know, he has a right. Well, hold on a minute. If your loved one says, I don't want to be resuscitated, how about using some common sense and saying, Dad, we accept your wishes, but can I just ask, why would you not want to be resuscitated? I know in situations of cancer, it's a different case. There could be a lot of pain, which is understandable. But because of the way the society is broken down, elderly are very lonely. Children only see them when they want to or when it's convenient for them. People go into care homes when it's convenient for them, pop in for an hour, sit there, give them a box of biscuits. Hello, Gran, how are you? Oh, lovely. Sorry, I've got to go. Thank you. Goodbye. This is why Department of Health, the care homes, and all the other organizations get away with it, because they know there are no extended families. There is no deep family focus. So the moral of the story is, guys, I want you to comment on what I'm saying. You don't have to agree with everything I say. But the reason I've kept my mum alive for 5 years, I can tell you, 3 times they said, and I know I've repeated many times, 3 times they said she won't make it past 24 hours. And my answer was, really? She'll be fine. This is my facial reaction. Look at me. No, she'll be fine. And they come out with, Mr. Khan, come on. You're not listening to us. I'm telling you, she's not going to make it. My answer is, really? Well, let's just hope you're not in hospital, because there are things you can do right now to make sure she gets better, and I don't see you doing them. Why isn't there a pipe in her mouth? Oh, it might hurt her throat and so on. Don't worry about it. I want a pipe in her mouth. I want her to get better. I'm giving you 24 hours. Oh, by the way, your clinical director and the chief executive is getting a letter from my lawyers, because I intend to make sure that all the building blocks are in place in case of any negligence. And you should see them, how they shit their faces, honestly. Because the ultimate one that all hospitals hate is being told that you've got a lawyer deployed. Now, I know a lot of you have sent me direct messages that I've got this problem, that problem. People have been sending me messages all night directly for a message to say, look, this is the problem, what should I do? And I'm advising everybody. The ultimate one that really gets them on their ghoulies is literally telling them, that's fine. My lawyer will be dropping you a letter. I've already spoken to them, and I'm date and time stamping every event, every conversation. Hospitals hate that. Anyway, guys, need to get back to work. Please give me your feedback. But it's important. The message, the morale of the story is, we're now seeing more and more young people get closer to their families. And that is a good thing. When somebody goes in hospital, make sure not just one person goes. If you can have more people going at different intervals, that really keeps hospitals on their toe. And I know, because I'm an internal person. And the thing is, when too many people are watching, they're very careful what they do. Good luck, guys. Thank you.